Hi Deborah, it's Gwendolyn here. Really great to see your next set of essays and also your corrected essays. I've started here with one of your corrected essays because I just wanted to, I think, still do a little bit of improvement here on this first essay, on this first sentence here in your last task one essay. So I think great to see that you're trying to correct the essays, but I think here probably it was me reading it over several times in my head and didn't come across very clearly. But this sentence should read, I am writing with regards to the position, and then this wording should come out. You recently advertised in the Daily News, and that would be capitalized because it would be a newspaper or a magazine, so capital D, capital N, for the sales department and then manager, M-A-N-A-G-E-R, at your company. So yeah, I just noticed that there's a couple of changes we need to make there. The rest of it looked great though, so really good to see that you're taking the time to correct your essays and add the mistakes to your error list. Fantastic job with that. Let's go ahead and look at your task 2. I know you had a couple of questions with it. Okay, Deborah, you asked here about the question on the task 2 and whether you needed to answer both parts of the question if they are. Yes, you do. So if there's 2 questions in the task response, you need to answer both sides of both questions. So in the P1, answer one question. Answer the question, are there alternatives in the education system? And then in the P2, answer the other question, is traditional education doing more harm than good? So yeah, Deborah, so you've tackled the task response correctly here, and you've answered both sides of the questions, which is exactly what we wanted to see. I'm going to go ahead and just dive into this one, and I'll give you my overall feedbacks incorporated with the general feedback on grammar as we read through it. So let's start. We need to change the way our children are taught at schools. The revolution needed demands teachers to respect the natural ability of every child. This essay will firstly analyze the possibility of improving, different verb form, improving, improving education with alternative schooling methods, such as the Montessori. Then it will discuss how the system used nowadays, maybe we could just say, discuss how today's system, just to make that phrasing a little simpler and more concise. Then it will discuss how today's system can destroy children's self-esteem. Self-esteem. So you've put steam here. Esteem is different E. How do you spell esteem? E-E-S-T-E-M. Have a look at that. It does start with an E. And my spelling is terrible, but it is not correct there. Finally, it would be followed by a reasoned conclusion. Good introduction there. First of all, it is necessary to believe that there is an alternative to help our children's education. However, to achieve all the changes needed, maybe a higher level word here would be required. Teachers must accept a new way to approach, a new way to approach the students. It is necessary to turn schools into a modern, interesting, and supportive place. For example, institutions based on the Montessori system are changing the way children attend classes. These schools are innovating in classrooms, emphasizing children's independence and freedom, and also respecting their psychological needs. Good, really good idea of an alternative form of education, and good example to back that up. So here, P2. Additionally, our current education system is harming our children because they are not being stimulated, with a D, develop their talents. The traditional system only values, with an S, the knowledge based on an outdated standard, which means that sometimes a child with a natural talent is misunderstood by teachers. For example, when I was attending school, my classmates who performed better in arts were usually considered lazy students. So generally in the IELTS, Deborah, they don't want you to use personal examples exactly like you've done here. What you can do though is transform that personal example into something a little more generic, and it will be okay. So you could just say, for example, many students, or for example, um, recent research shows that um, uh, many students who focused on art education were considered lazy students by their more traditional academic classmates. Therefore, they were obliged to study more subjects like math and physics, and most of the times they unfortunately stopped developing their natural talents. In conclusion, methods used at school now are definitely not the best for students to develop their individualism and natural abilities. In this sense, changes are needed for children to become better and happier adults. Good! I thought it was a really good essay, Deborah. Here again, you've looked at both sides of the question, which we needed to do, given some good examples and some good ideas to back that up. Just be mindful of don't using your own personal example. You kind of knock you some points in the IELTS exam for that. But great vocabulary throughout. Well done. Let's go ahead and look at your task one. Okay, Deborah, I just paused to read through your task one on your restaurant complaint. You did a fantastic job here with the task response. You answered all of the task response parts of the question, and you wrote a very clear and coherent essay. I thought it was a really good essay, so let's go ahead and just read through it. There are a few grammatical things, but nothing major. Dear Sir or Madam, I am writing to express my dissatisfaction with the experience I had last Friday. Turning to the comma there. When I went to Co-PP with some friends to celebrate our 5th graduation anniversary. Initially, comma, we were amazed to go to the most famous Thai food restaurant in the city. However, our evening started with a waiting time of 20 minutes to be seated. Additionally, another 15 minutes were necessary until the waiter came to take our orders. Request done, our meal only arrived after at your article there, an unbelievable 30 minutes. Surprisingly, despite all the honors the restaurant has, we received cold and barely prepared food. It is unacceptable for a restaurant as famous as Co-PP to permit its clients to have such an awful experience. For all the above mentioned, I would appreciate to be reimbursed for the money I spent at the restaurant last Friday. I would consider this as an apology for the inconvenience. I look forward to receiving your response. Regards, Deborah. Good. Yeah, there was very few mistakes there, so I think fantastic job. Good, Deborah, we have come to the end of the course, and I think your writing has improved massively since the start of the course. These last 2 essays were very clear and coherent, very well written. I thought very good essays. I think the only thing I have left to ask you is, how long are you taking to write these essays? Are you able to do this within the 60-minute time frame for the both of them? So if you are writing this level within the 60 minutes, I think you're doing really well. So I think, Deborah, you're well on track to get that 7.0 or higher when you take your test this weekend on the 30th of July. However, I just want to make sure that you will get that score. So we've got a few days left, and I don't want you to stop writing and stop practicing, because I think you'll lose some of your momentum. So what I want to do, Deborah, to help you ensure get that 7.0 is I want to offer you 2 more essay checks for free. So I'll put those in the next email. And again, this is free. It's in addition to the 8 that we've already done, just to get you one last set of practice before you take your exam. And I want you to do these under exam conditions. So I want you to write them within the 60-minute time frame, you know, and do whatever you can do within that time frame, and send them through to me so that I can kind of give you some honest feedback on where I think you're at under exam conditions before you take your test this weekend. Okay? Good, Deborah. Keep up the great work, and I look forward to seeing these next essays before the weekend so that we can get your feedback before your exam. All right? Have a fantastic week, and I look forward to seeing the next essays. Bye for now.